We want to get right to the Democratic Assemblyman of California, Mark Berman, before he heads out onto the floor. It's good to have you here, Assemblyman. You are in a race against time, trying to get this passed by tomorrow. So I wonder what conversations you've been having as you head into the debate and whether you see any obstacles that might stop this from happening.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me, Chris, and thanks for the questions. And look, this is a fight that we didn't choose. And frankly, this is a fight that California doesn't want. But with our democracy literally on the line, this is a fight that California cannot and will not run away from. And so we've moved very quickly. The governor has led the way in coming up with a plan that most importantly respects the will of the voters. And so what we have done is we've drafted new maps here in California in response to the Texas power grab. And we're going to put those maps to voters on November 4th to let voters in California have the final say on whether or not California adopts new maps ourselves to push back on these Republican power grabs that are happening all across the country right now.
Well, what's your level of confidence that if it gets to the voters that they will pass it? I wonder what you're hearing from your constituents.
Yeah, I've got a lot of constituents who are very supportive of this effort and very, almost proud, frankly, that California is stepping up, that finally somebody is pushing back on Trump and his authoritarian tendencies, and the fact that Republican elected officials all across the state are just dropping to their knees in front of Trump whenever he tells them to do anything, including destroying our democracy. I have other constituents who really have put a lot of value in the Independent Redistricting Commission, and those constituents are grateful that our plan in California gives the power, keeps the power with the Independent Redistricting Commission after the 2030 census. And our constituents realize that this is an emergency. This is a very unique moment in time. And hopefully we'll be able to get through it, democracy still intact, and then go back to being, or continue being, I should say, the national leader when it comes to having independent redistricting commissions, and hope that Congress passes national legislation to make sure that every state in the United States has an independent redistricting commission for their political boundaries.
Well, let me talk about the other side. Republican Assemblyman Carl DeMaio spoke to NBC News. He views it very differently, no surprise. Take a listen to what he said about your side.
And they're using a lot of voters' distrust of Donald Trump and what's going on in Texas as the vehicle, the ruse to seize back power for politicians. That's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with the saving of democracy. I learned in kindergarten, like most people, that two wrongs don't make a right. And yet here you have Governor Gavin Newsom trying to eliminate what is the gold standard here in California.
He's suggesting that you didn't learn your lessons in kindergarten. Two wrongs don't make a right. What do you say to that?
I find my colleague's comments to be very naive. And to be honest, he doesn't believe what he's saying. Clearly, California is responding to undemocratic and un-American power grabs by President Trump. My colleague, Mr. DeMaio, has said nothing about those attempts to grab more power in Texas. I hear yesterday Florida Governor Ron DeSantis demanded a new congressional district, an additional congressional district in Florida. We are living in undemocratic and absolutely scary times. My colleague, Mr. DeMaio, supports all of those efforts, but he doesn't want to see California voters fight back. And he and I have a strong disagreement on that. I respect the will of California voters. I think it's important to give them an opportunity in 2025 to decide, do we want to fight back against these authoritarian efforts or not? And I respect the will of the voters, and I will happily follow whatever they decide in November. And I hope my colleague, Mr. DeMaio, does as well.
There's an op-ed in the Washington Post today that says all of this is a nuclear arms race headed to a hyper-partisan nuclear war. Has this gotten out of hand?
That's exactly why we have in our legislation a trigger that says if Texas backs down, if Donald Trump backs down, California will not enact these new maps, because we agree completely that, what's happening is we're not moving in the right direction. Now, we're not going to bring a butter knife to a gunfight. And I know that my Republican colleagues would prefer that we do that, but that's not California's spirit, and that's not California's way. But if Texas backs down, if Donald Trump backs down, we will put a pause on our efforts as well. And frankly, a lot of us would prefer to see that.
California Assemblyman Mark Berman, I know you need to get out there. We appreciate you stopping, I assume, in your office and taking a few minutes to talk to us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you having me.